Hello everyone, I am the Conscious Atheist, and today's video is a special one. I was inspired by the Amazing Atheists video of 10 what the fuck Bible verses, and today I'll be listing off the Conscious Atheist's 10 sexual Bible verses. So, what say you? We just get right into this. Number 1, Song of Songs, chapter 7, verses 1 to 3. How beautiful are your sandaled feet, princess. The curves of your thighs are like jewelry, the handiwork of a master. Your navel is a rounded bowl. It never lacks mixed wine. Your waist is a mound of wheat surrounded by lilies. Your breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle. And Song of Songs is just filled with this kind of sexual shit. But as you can see here, some guy is ogling over a woman and how the curves of her thighs, her navel is rounded like a ball. Man, this guy is just lusting after it. Which the Bible then condemns lust, so go figure. Number 2, Ezekiel, chapter 23, verses 18 to 21. When she carried on her whoring so openly and flaunted her nakedness, I turned in disgust from her, as I had turned in disgust from her sister. Yet she increased her whoring, remembering the days of her youth, when she played the whore in the land of Egypt, and lusted after her lovers there, whose members were like those of donkeys, and whose issue was that of horses. Thus you longed for the lewdness of your youth, when the Egyptians handled your bosom and pressed your young breasts. So this is pretty fucking sexual here. It's pretty disgusting anyways. It's talking about how a woman is remembering and whoring after men. She whores after men with giant-sized cocks who come a shitload. And here it says, he has turned in disgust from her as he is from her sister. Wow. So whoever wrote this is just seriously like raging boner kind of guy. This is pretty damn sexual. Number 3. So they got, this is Genesis chapter 19, verse 35. So they got their father to drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and slept with him. Again, he was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. This is just blatant incest right here, but according to this story, after Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, and Lot and his daughters went into a cave in Zoar, they had nobody to have children with, as was apparently the custom of that day. So they decided to basically date rape their dad by getting him drunk and fucking him. And no one really knows how old these daughters are, but we can only assume either way, this is pretty messed up. Number 4. One evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing. The woman was very beautiful, and David sent someone to find out about her. The man said, "She is Bathsheba. I don't know how the frick you pronounce that. The daughter of Elaman, the wife of Uriah the Hittite." I don't know how the hell you pronounce these dumb names. Anyways. Then David sent messengers to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. So basically, this is a woman who was already married, and David just lusted after her and basically committed adultery, blatantly against the Lord's commandments. So here we have someone, and this is from the New English Version. This is 2 Samuel chapter 11, verses 2 to 4. This is really quite weird. This is another example of people just lusting after one, just fucking like crazy. I think the main themes of these should be like, keep your fucking dick in your pants. Here we can see David, supposedly God's chosen warrior and one of his personal favorites, one of the big heroes in the Bible, doing some crazy shit here. Number 5. This is kind of a long one, but this is Judges chapter 19, verses 25 through 29. But the men would not listen to him. So the man took his concubine and brought her out to them in the street. Then they raped her and abused her all night and until morning. Then they let her go at sunrise. The woman went at dawn and fell at the door of the house where her master was staying, and lay there until it was light. When her master got up in the morning, he opened the door of the house and stepped out to go on his way. But there lay his concubine, fallen in the doorway of his house, with her hands on the threshold. Then he said to her, "Get up, let's go." But there was no answer. So he took her and went home. Then when he entered his house, he took a knife and cut his concubine in pieces, limb by limb, into 12 parts, and sent them into every region of Israel. This is some clearly messed up shit. So basically what this verse is saying is, so this guy sent out his concubine to be raped by a bunch of men. As far as I can guess, I think this is the verse where they were wanting to rape a bunch of angels that came to this man's house, but he gave them his daughter, or gave them this woman to rape and abuse instead. And they raped and abused her to death. Well, they didn't rape her and abuse her to death, but they raped her and abused her so badly that she fell and died at his doorstep. And then this guy, instead of reporting it to the authorities or doing any responsible, logical, compassionate thing, I'm just going to drag her in the house, cut her body into 12 pieces like a butcher, and send them to different parts of the region. So basically, this guy is an accomplice to the crime. They're all guilty. The men who raped and abused her, and this guy who was dismembering a body. This is some seriously messed up stuff. Number 6. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 20 to 21. But if the thing is true, and evidences of virginity are not found for the young woman, then they shall bring out the young woman to the door of her father's house. And the men of her city shall stone her to death with stones, because she has done a disgraceful thing in Israel, to play the harlot in her father's house. So you shall put away the evil from among you. So basically, if a woman is not a virgin, and they find out that she's not a virgin, basically they'll bring this woman out into the public and kill her to death. And throw stones at her until she's dead. Because she is very promiscuous in her house. So if you're a young woman and you are found out to not be a virgin in these fucked up biblical times, they can drag you outside and whip and throw stones at you until you are bleeding and dead. You know, I wonder what happens next. Do they drag your dead body in the house and cut you up into pieces and send you to every region of the place? Some messed up stuff. Number 7. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 1. Here, he that is wounded in the stones, or hath his privy member cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. That's Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 1. So essentially what this stupid verse is saying is that if you are dickless or you don't have any balls, God doesn't want you to go to church. And there's an added note here. It says, if you're dickless or ballless, God doesn't want you at church. Fuck, man. What does God have against dudes with no mojo or huevos? Yeah, seriously. You know, there's also another verse here that, you know, basically says if you have any kind of blemish, deformity, you're blinded, you have a crippled hand, any kind of crazy deformity like that, God doesn't want you. No, He doesn't want you at church. Number 8. Jeremiah chapter 13, verses 5 through 26. Hear and give ear. Do not be haughty, for the Lord has spoken. And if you say in your heart, why have these things come upon me? It is for the greatness of your iniquity, that your skirts are lifted up and you are violated, because you have forgotten me and trusted in lies. I myself will lift up your skirts over your face, and your shame will be seen. So let's just go over this really quickly to give you a little bit of context to this crazy verse. So basically it's saying, listen up, the Lord speaks, saying, if you say in your heart, why have these things come upon me? So if you are questioning that, it's basically saying it is for your own good, for women, that your skirts are lifted up and that you are sexually violated. Is this basically condoning rape, sexual assault of women? You know, I wonder if this is just because, I wonder if a woman is not a virgin, do they get stoned to death also in this? So you get your skirts lifted up, you get violated, you are shamed, and then what? You're stoned to death and cut up and sent to other parts of the region. I think the guys who wrote this are just obviously misogynistic and obviously just have some kind of rape, problem. This is such fucked up shit. Number 9. This is Song of Solomon, chapter 7, verses 9 to 10. And oh, may your breasts be like clusters of grapes on a vine, the scent of your breath like apricots, your mouth good wine, that pleases my lover, rousing him even from sleep. Ugh. So this is basically like lusting after a woman's breasts and describing the scent of her mouth, and basically saying that it pleases her man, that she arouses him, that he gets hard even from his sleep. I feel like the people who wrote this were like seriously like bonered up. They were like hornied up. Either the people who wrote this didn't get too much sex, or they had too much illegal sex. Ugh. And finally, number 10. This verse is from Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 13 to 21. If a man takes a wife, and after sleeping with her, dislikes her and slanders her and gives her a bad name, saying, I married this woman, but when I approached her, I did not find proof of her virginity, then the young woman's father and mother shall bring to the town elders at the gate proof that she was a virgin. Her father will say to the elders, I gave my daughter in marriage to this man, but he dislikes her. Now he has slandered her and said, I did not find your daughter to be a virgin. But here is the proof of my daughter's virginity. Then her parents shall display the cloth before the elders of the town, and the elders shall take the man and punish him. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, and give them to the young woman's father, because this man has given an Israelite virgin a bad name. She shall continue to be his wife. He must not divorce her as long as he lives. If, however, the charge is true, and no proof of the young woman's virginity can be found, she shall be brought to the door of her father's house, and there the men of her town shall stone her to death. She has done an outrageous thing in Israel by being promiscuous while still in her father's house. You must purge the evil from among you. So essentially what this crazy, stupid verse is saying is that if your daughter is married to a man and he does not like her, and he slanders her and insults her, and he doesn't think that she has proof of virginity, then basically the young woman's parents have to go to the elders of the town and present proof of the daughter's virginity. And if they can display the cloths and the physical evidence that she was a virgin, then they will fine the man or the husband of this young virgin 100 shekels of silver, because he has desecrated her name and insulted her and spoken lies about an Israelite virgin woman. And he must not divorce her as long as he lives. So this guy doesn't like her because he doesn't think she's a virgin, but if they can provide evidence to the town elders that she is a virgin, then the man must pay, either for lying or for just being an asshole, and they must still remain married. If, however, they don't find proof that this woman is a virgin, then guess what? She gets stoned to death. So if this woman is simply promiscuous and simply likes to sleep around, whatever she likes to do, and she's pledged to be married, and they find proof that she is not a virgin, then guess what, ladies? You get to die, according to these old biblical times. Isn't that fun? So, do not have sex, do not be promiscuous, and if you marry a man, make sure he likes you, and make sure that you're still a virgin, or else you could possibly be stoned to death. And then it says you must purge the evil from among you. What's so evil about a young woman who just is promiscuous? Is that really worth a death sentence? I don't think so. I mean, there's plenty of people nowadays that are not virgins and they're married. That's common amongst today, but you don't see us throwing them in jail or punishing them in other kinds of ways. And what about all the other times in the Bible when, women were promiscuous and it was fine? What about all the people who have had multiple wives? Doesn't that seem pretty messed up? Anyways, I also have one bonus verse for all of you. I believe this was Genesis 38:7. Lo, I have a painful disease in my loins. At least I believe that's how the context of it. So according to that bonus verse, this verse decided it needed to get downright explicit and just talk about genital diseases like STDs. I'm pretty sure these virgin women were full of it. Or maybe these kings like Solomon and others who had multiple wives, maybe they should have been more aware of that. Anyways. So, thank you for watching. That was 10 sexual Bible verses. If this video gets several likes, I will be making a follow-up video of 10 crazy Bible verses or 10 violent Bible verses. Although, I don't think I'll be able to limit myself to just 10. But if you like this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you have not. I hope you like this video. Peace!